Welcome to Cheltanks Multimedia live stream for the 30th of November. Hey, it's the last day of the month. Yes, it's hard to believe. By streaming live and directly to your device from Brisbane, Australia. And of course, being the last day of the month, let's see what the weather has got in store for us. But because don't forget that today on the show, we have lots of live coverage, lots of functions and events which have started taking place right here in Brisbane. So right now, let's go and take a look at the weather for rest of today with Dilraj.
Good morning everyone. Weather forecast for the rest of today is maximum 31 degree. Brisbane area is mostly sunny with no chance of rain. Some smoke haze likely, light winds becoming easterly 15 to 25 km per hour in the middle of the day and then tending southeasterly 15 to 20 km per hour in the late evening. Fire danger is high, sun protection is recommended till 40 past 3 and UV index is predicted to reach 12, that is extreme. Till tomorrow, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much, Dilraj. So that's the news for today about the weather, what's going to happen. Well, let's take a look at headlines for today before we go into all the local news. And of course, being the last day of November, we're going into the Christmas period. So we'll be talking about the Christmas cards and the importance of that as well. We'll be talking to Henry Kovakovic, and of course with that there's so much local events that we need to cover today as well. But first off, let's look at the headlines for today.
Team breach put health authorities on high alert. They say a man with coronavirus went on a 3-hour cross-town spree on Sunday the 22nd of November, visiting shopping centres, sports and hiking stores, a supermarket and food outlets. The English language school student was meant to be quarantining at home after he was identified as a contact of a positive case in the Parafield cluster. Fire authorities in New South Wales say 60 blazes burning in the state currently pose no threat to life or property, but they're warning that may change with temperatures set to spike again tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Meteorology says today we'll see extreme temperatures in parts of Queensland with increased fire risk as the state swelters until Wednesday. Guests have been asked to leave Fraser Island's largest resort as a bushfire continues to pose a threat. The first charter flight of international students is set to arrive in Darwin this morning under a pilot program to bring overseas pupils back to Australia. Up to 70 students from China, Hong Kong, Japan, Vietnam and Indonesia will fly in from Singapore, marking the first time international students have been allowed into the country since March the 20th. The students will be transferred directly to the Howard Springs quarantine facility for 14 days.
So there you go, the news headline for today, courtesy of ABC. Well, right now, as we talked about all the functions and events that have been taking place in and around Brisbane, first of all, let's go to the Rotary Club of Archerfield and the fundraiser annual dinner which was held at Gambaros. Let's have a look at that event.
Of Michael Gambaro Esquire. Our family, the Dean brothers and the Gambaro family brothers have been friends, clients and mates for over 50 years. With the passing of Dominic and now Michael, it is the passing of a long-established union of people of different backgrounds, respect of each other, and has been of mutual nature what we have done together over the decades, be it as builders, demolishers, and clients of the best seafood restaurant in Oz. On view of Michael's input, you would not be here tonight if it wasn't for Michael and myself, as well as our Rotary Club, now in its 20th year of annual fundraising function. As Michael was always supportive of our fundraising events and projects, and he always impressed on his sons, my 3 sons I say, John, Frank and Donnie.
And that was Raideen, of course, paying tribute to Michael Gambaro, who unfortunately passed away, ending an era of legendary. Well, right now is the second part of that event.
The godfathers of seafood, Michael and Dominic Gambaro. When I made it known that the Gambaros would work with us in the early days in our club fundraising events on an annual basis, many said it would not work. But time has proven us to be totally correct in presenting top quality venues.
And of course, we know that was a very good function, very well organized, and Rotary Club of Archerfield always does a lot of events. It was good to see so many familiar faces there. And of course, Sue Larson, who we know is from Fred Hello's foundation, she was there as well, supporting everyone as well. Fenty Forsyth, and of course, Yasmin Khan and many others from the community were there as well. So it is wonderful to see everyone coming out in great numbers to support the great cause that is being done by the Rotary Club of Archerfield. Well, right now we'll go to Kim Marks, Councillor Kim Marks, and her function, which was held at Michael's Oriental once again after the COVID-19. I think this was the first time Michael's was full, around 200 people at the function, and it was quite good to see that it was all organized with all the restrictions still in place. So, it was very well done. And of course, the MC was none other than Gary Hardgraves.
And I'm delighted to be able to welcome each and every one of you here on behalf of Councillor Kim Marks, otherwise known as Santa's Little Helper. She wanted to get everyone together and to make it possible to, after this quite dreadful...
And that's Gary Hardgrave as the MC for the night. And of course, we know in presence was Senator Amanda Stoker, and she had a lot to say about the multicultural community and the role that she plays, and here's what she had to say about the night.
Country a little bit better when you go than when you arrived, and it's a terribly great honour that I get to do that for you. So if there's ever anything that you think I need to understand to make sure that we're getting it right for you in Canberra, please don't be a stranger. All of my details are freely available online, and I'd love for you to use them. As a Senator, it's my responsibility to make sure that the things we do work just as well for the people of McGregor as they do for the people of Roma, as they do for the people of Cairns, or maybe even in Cape York. It's a wonderfully diverse state, and it's got so much potential. We're all about investing in you and helping you achieve your goals, whatever they may be. So thank you. Thank you for all that you do to invest in yourselves and this community, because I truly believe it's what happens here and in your businesses and in your homes that holds the key to our economic recovery from the hardship of COVID, but also unlocking the potential of all of us to keep this country the greatest one in the world to live and work and raise a family. Thank you so much.
So there you go, a wonderful message there from Amanda Stoker, and she did talk about that, this is a country where everyone's got that equal opportunity, and that you don't need to be from a very renowned family or be very rich to get into politics and serve the community as she is doing. Well, right now, of course, on the night we also had the chance of first-hand meeting David Crisafulli, who is the new leader of opposition. And of course, originally from Townsville, now in Gold Coast. So, he was there as well, a very down-to-earth and go-getter person who was doing a wonderful. So he was there as well to support Kim. So here's his intro.
I'd say 4 long years away, but that doesn't matter. This is all character-building stuff. The key thing for me is that he's actually here tonight. He did not hesitate, but he was invited to be part of this evening, and I think that says something about him. He wants to meet you, he wants to know you, he wants to work with you and for you. Please make him welcome. David Crisafulli.
Well, Gary, thank you very much for that beautiful introduction, and I'll acknowledge all the distinguished guests and I'll make some comments about some of them in a moment. But firstly, I want to start by saying I am a really, really proud Queenslander, but I'm also a really proud son of a migrant. And I want to give you a little glimpse inside my story before telling you why I burn to win, but why I burn to serve, and what I want to do for this state. You won't get a rousing political rendition from me. I won't tell you that the other side's terrible and my side's wonderful. And we always get it right and they get it wrong, because you've heard enough of that. And I'll talk about my style in a moment. But first I want to tell you the story of a man by the name of Frank. He was my grandfather. He was my age. And he lived in Italy. And they were poor. And he didn't speak a word of English, but he heard about this place called Queensland, and he'd seen other people go there, and apparently they were doing okay. He was too old to be a cane cutter, though, he was told, and he was too late in the cycle. It was 1960. Most of the people had made their money over a decade before, but wanting more, he packed a suitcase, he left his family behind, including my father, and he came out here and he cut cane for a year before he could afford to bring the family over. He died many years ago, but he died...
So, to the new migrants these days, they think that they're doing it tough. Look at what, the original migrants had to do, the cutting of the cane, clearing of the land, scrub cutting, some very, very hard work that they did. People who come in these days, and they complain about so many things, but if you look at the hardship that was faced by, the original migrants, and of course the subsequent migrants who came from, a lot of European countries, who went to Cairns and other places, and they spent those, terrible time in the cane fields, and they worked really hard. They really toiled with their hand on the land.
This state can reach its potential like we've never seen before. So finally, before I hand back to Gary, I want to conclude with something that Gary said that's ringing in my ears. And he said it's only the beginning of the journey. You bet it is. I'm not one for fair weather friends. I've had my ups and downs, I can tell you. And I remember what it's like when it's tough. And that's when blokes like Gary Hargrave were willing to reach out to me when others weren't. And so I am at the start of my next journey. It's one that will be dealt with in a forceful manner, but with good purpose. And this won't be the last time you see me. And it won't be the last time you see people like John Paul Langbrook. And I am determined to make sure that our connection is more than just one done on hospitality. We have to move the relationship just about being functions and events to ones where we help you get a job. Your kids get a job. We help this state power ahead. That's what good relationships are about. And so, Gary, in answer to your question as I conclude, this is the start of a new relationship. It'll be one that you get treated with the respect you deserve. We will reform, but we will do it with a steady pace. We will reform, but we will explain why, and we will take people on a journey. We will treat you with humility and decency and grace. And this is the start of a long, hard 4 years, but I would love nothing more than your support as we seek to bring about the best, most inclusive Queensland this nation has ever seen. Thank you very much.
So there you go, a wonderful speech there by David Crisafulli, the new leader of opposition, and of course we worked with him together to fest the cultural fest in Townsville when he was and of course at that time because of our association with India Day Fair, we were called in to be the mentor of that carnival there, the festival, and it's good to see that it's going it, and it was under the guidance and auspices of David Crisafulli, who was in Townsville at that time. We spent a lot of time in his office planning that fest event, and of course I was there for that opening as well, and it is wonderful to see that now it is taken off and is going very well. Well, yesterday there was the Gayatri Havan held at Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, and of course that's the Queensland Vedic Centre at 198 Leroy Road. And of course Gayatri Havan is a Havan Yag where people come together in groups, and it's a collective effort. That's what makes it. So Professor Sarvadhanam Singh, OIM, he was the chief guest and he inaugurated the Havan.
To be able to participate in this holy yajna and to be able
inaugurate the beginning of these heavenly chants. It is wonderful to remember the name of God. It is wonderful to know that all life is an emanation of the divine. It is wonderful to understand and realize that we are all made in the image of God. But then, while I wish this great yajna a wonderful fruition, and while I wish happiness to everyone around, I must say something that is very close to my heart. Our worship and our yajna does not begin and end here with this ritual performance. It must translate into compassion. It must translate into meaningful activity aimed at the amelioration of the world around us. Our apathy, our indifference, our sense of self-complacency induces a colossal silence and a certain insensitivity to the plight of the world around us, the hurt and the hunger and the privation.
A very eloquent speaker, of course, Professor Sarvadadanand Singh, OIM, who has presented so many lectures at Indrapalli State Library and elsewhere as well. So it was wonderful to see him inaugurating the Havan.
सभी लोगों ने बहुत ही सुंदर आज सबसे श्रेष्ठ कर्म आज इस संसार में जो एक कर्म हुआ है 108 आहुति गायत्री मंत्र का जो हम दिए है सबसे श्रेष्ठ कर्म हमारे भारतीय संस्कृति में the best deed that we can ever do in this world is Havan Yajna, and that's what we have done today. Thank you very much to each and one and everyone. Now it's time for presentation of appreciation certificates, and I would like to call upon आदरणीय परशुराम कुंज जी जो हमारे स्टेज पर यहाँ पर आ जाएं। आदरणीय श्रीमान उमेश चंद्र जी यहाँ पर आ जाएं प्लीज। आदरणीय डॉक्टर अनिल दलसनिया जी यहाँ पर आ जाइए। And we request our respected councillor Angela Awan to please come here. She has done a marvelous job today.
So after the Havan, we were all called in to do the presentation. We presented certificates to the people who took part in the Havan, which was the 108 Havan Kund there. Well, after that, there was a cultural part of the event where Baldev Sharma ji, did some bhajans inside the hall. And following on from Baldev Sharma ji, there was the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha and their women's wing, the Mahila Mandal, and that did a bhajan as well. And it was a very well organized function, I must say. And of course, there was an address there by the chief of HSS.
This Sakha is a family Sakha. Any whole family can come, and everyone is catered for. Children, adult, mother and father. We all have a different activity for everyone. In Brisbane, if I say, that we have 5 Shaka. We have 2 Shaka in Gold Coast. In Brisbane, we have Sri Ram Shaka, which is one of the oldest Shaka in Brisbane. That takes place in St. Lucia. Other next is Keshav Shaka. That takes place in Gundam, north side. Shakti Shaka, that takes place in Holland Park. Madhu Shaka is in Springfield. Aryavat Shaka, that is in Gold Coast. And we have recently other Shaka started in Gold Coast. So, as I told you that it is a family Shaka. Why we need Shaka?
So, there's explanation of HSS and all the branches, all the Shakas, and of course they're doing a wonderful job. And of course the function was held at the Queensland Vedic Centre. So from the patron we are going to hear about Arya Samaj.
I acknowledge the traditional honors of this land on which we are meeting today and pay my respect to the elders past, present and emerging. Our honorable guest today, Angela Owen, who is representing the Lord Mayor of Brisbane, Professor Saradaman Singh, who is a learned scholar of history, author of many books and Australia Order Medal recipient, Mrs. Archana Singh, who is the Council of India in Queensland and has been very supportive of us all the time, and Justice retired Devendra Patikji, who is the patron of our Arya Pratinidhi Sabha.
So of course all the people who were present there, they had to be acknowledged, and after the acknowledgement he did speak about Arya Samaj.
Noble society, people of all societies, those who are very noble people. And Arya Samaj is basically a reform movement and a religious or a social organization which was formally established in Mumbai in 1875 by Maharishi Dayanand Saraswati, whose photograph is on my right side. He was a very learned scholar of Vedas. He was born in 1824 and he left this world for the heavenly abode in 1883. Now, as you say, our name embodies Arya Samaj. What does Arya means? Arya means noble human being. Who is noble? One who knows, who is thoughtful and charitable, and do good things, have good thoughts, and do good to others. Any person who follows this, he or she, is an Arya. And basically following these values, Arya Samaj promotes the value and practices based on the belief in the infallible authority of the Vedas. Ved is our guiding light. And as you know, Veds are a large body of texts, religious texts originating in ancient India, composed in Vedic Sanskrit. The texts constitute the oldest layer of Sanskrit literature and the oldest scripture of Hinduism. As far as the recorded history goes, I don't think there are many books older than the Vedas available in the world today. Professor Singh, who is an historian, he knows better than me when and how the Vedas came into existence.
So after the explanation of Arya Samaj, there was a very good classical sort of dance, a Rabindra Tagore dance by Vasu Saraswati Chatterjee, and of course he's from the Bengali Society of Queensland and a very good star and an artist in her own right. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Australian Indian Radio, and it's the time of the year when, we are very, very close to Christmas. But Australians are urged to digital and stay connected through Christmas cards. This Christmas, millions will be separated from their loved ones for the first time ever. With 3/4 not travelling to see loved ones, more than half of Aussies are not feeling positive about Christmas this year. The Australian Greeting Card Association is encouraging Australians to ditch digital and send cards to their loved ones in this Christmas. And that is ever so important, being that together. And we are very, very fortunate that today with us on the line, we have the president of Australian Greeting Card Association, Henry Kovacevic. Henry, welcome to the show.
Oh, Womesh, lovely to talk to you and the Indian community, and let's talk about the importance of Christmas cards this year.
Definitely, and just a little bit about Henry. He is the current president of Australian Greeting Card Association, having taken over the reins in June 2020. Henry says a strong passion for greeting card industry, and with decades of experience under his belt, including 16 years at Hallmark, and everyone knows Hallmark, the card company. In this time, there is a national account executive. Henry maximized the growth of key accounts and relationship within the industry with industry partners in this new role. His skills will help generate a quantum leap in interest of sending and giving personalized greeting cards. Henry is passionate about connecting people and helping Aussies reconnect through the greeting card communication. So, Henry, that's quite intro for you there. It's wonderful to have you on the show.
Yes, well, look, thanks for that introduction. Yes, in my first 17 years of life, I did spend, 16 years with Hallmark Cards, and then for the most recent 16 years, I've gone out and built my own business or two. And but now it's great to come back in this new role as president of the association, pulling together all the great greeting card companies of Australia, bringing fresh eyes and new inspiration to it. And I think in this digital world that we've been in for the last 25 years, sending greeting cards, and especially at Christmas time, is a great way for people to reconnect with family and friends.
And that is a Flosocro. And otherwise, Henry is also the founder and manager of Melbourne's renowned B+ Big Band. His passion for those big swinging sound has ensured many smiles and tapping tones at various public, private and corporate events. Plus, the praise for many high-profile local and international performance. That's something we share there as well. But moving on with that main topic for today, Henry, can you tell us a little bit about why people are not looking forward to Christmas this year?
Well, Womesh, we all know that it's been a very fractured world that we've been in over the last 9 months. And it's good to hear that things are opening up again slowly, but people are still obviously a bit nervous. But we hope that, people can start reconnecting, and a great way to do that is through Christmas cards. And by sending a Christmas card, it's a real personalised way to rebuild relationships with friends and family. Hopefully Christmas will be a great new starting point for everyone, where they can get over the hurdles and challenges that they've had over these last few months, and a chance for everyone just to smile a little bit more.
Well, that is quite well said. So can you tell us why sending Christmas cards are more important than ever in these times?
Well, look, it's going to be hard to know what Christmas week will look like this year. Some traditions might need to be overhauled a little bit. Sending a Christmas card is probably the most cost-effective way to let people know you're thinking of them and to put a smile on their faces. Keep in mind also that we're aware that, due to financial difficulties that some may have experienced this year, that presents may not be as much of an option as past years. But a Christmas card is a solution to that challenge, and it really is the best way to let people know that you're thinking of them. If they can't be around you, letting them know that you wish they were, and also wishing them all the best this Christmas.
Well, very well said, Henry. As I know that, Christmas cards, as you mentioned, that personal touch, that really brings out that spirit. I know, sometimes I receive letters from, high profile like politicians or something like that, letters written from their office, and it says, "Dear Mr. Chandra," and then you see the Mr. Chandra's crossed out and someone has written in handwriting, if it's from the Lord Mayor or someone, my first name. And I feel so close, I feel so honored, and that it's more personalized. So what makes, that handwriting, and then on that handwriting on the card so special?
Well, look, that's a great question, and we all know that, for the last 25 years, we've been in a digital era where people have been sending text messages and social media messages and email messages, and they serve their purpose. But when we get them, we read them, and then we do a quick delete, 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 delete. However, when we go to our letterbox and we find in amongst the bills and the promotional material that you see handwriting on an envelope, and then you can sense that there's a card inside, you know instantly that someone has sent you a very special wish, and that they went to a shop, they selected a card, they went to the effort of writing it, putting it in the envelope, stamp on it, in the red letterbox. There is something very personalised and rich about receiving a greeting card, and especially at Christmas time, because when you bring it inside, there's a little flutter in your heart, little joy on your face as you open it and you find out who it's from. And then you don't just delete it, we often end up putting those cards on mantelpieces, on bookshelves, on fridges, perhaps on a string around the bottom of a Christmas tree. A card and a Christmas card is something that we hold on to, and then we pull it out, perhaps years later, particularly when it's from a parent or a grandparent that may have passed away, and it makes for storytelling with our families and with future generations when we show those cards to those generations.
And that brings in that personal touch. I really, really appreciate that. And of course, proudly displayed on the mantelpiece, as you mentioned before. That is an awe if it is hanging above the fireplace with a string tied and all the cards in the row. Well, it does. And that handwritten message really takes that pride that people have actually taken time out to write out that message. Now, of course, we know during this time and this year, people will be separated. So what advice do you have for the loved ones who are separated to stay connected?
Well, look, for those loved ones, I'd encourage you to go to your local shopping centre, and you'll find a number of stores that have great ranges of Christmas cards. Like, go to the newsagent, go to the card shop, go to the supermarket, go to the department store. There'll be a great range of Christmas cards. Everything from very traditional ones right through to nice cute ones, and then to sort of more edgy, funnier ones. As you think of the people that are special in your life, family and friends, you'll find a design that you go, oh, that one for that person and that one for that person. Then as you bring it home and you start writing in them, I know some people might be a bit nervous about their handwriting these days because, we've been using keyboards now for so many years as well. So some people get a bit nervous about their handwriting. But just to add your handwriting inside the card and on the envelope really adds a real meaningful part of yourself to that card. And then keep in mind also that you can slip in a photo, you can slip in some stickers, you can even slip in a pressed flower, really adding a special touch on the inside of the card before you post it off. So for those people that are going to be separated, I say get your cards now. If you're posting them and you want them arrived to an Australian destination, you've still got another 2 weeks or 3 weeks to guarantee you that it will arrive at your Australian location. However, if you're wanting to post them overseas and to friends and family in India, you want to hot-foot it a little bit. You want to get those cards now and talk to your friendly people at your Australia Post store, and they'll let you know what delivery times are like at the moment between now and India.
And that is a very, very sound advice there about, sending to India, that you really need to do it now. And of course the cut-off dates we have touched upon. So, where can people go to get all these wonderful cards that you talked about?
Yeah, well, I'll remind you again, we've all got nice shopping strips and perhaps a big shopping centre around us. And now that the shops, are opening up more after things are being relaxed, you're going to find a great newsagent, card shop, gift shop, supermarket. When you're going to buy your essentials, your shopping, be sure to stop at their card display. You'll find a Christmas card display there. Department stores also. And there's going to be a great selection of cards. So take the time while you're buying your essentials to buy a Christmas card. It really is a great personalised way to let those that are near and dear to you know that you're thinking of them, especially if you can't be with each other this year. It's a personalised way, and we've spoken about the rich aspect of it, of something that when it arrives in their mailbox and they hold on to it. So I really encourage you and all your listeners to use a Christmas card, put a little bit of handwriting in there, and maybe slip a little surprise on the inside of the card as well.
Henry, thank you so much for that very wonderful advice, and wishing you all the best for Christmas and for the festive season. And thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing this very important and very timely message with all our listeners.
It's my pleasure, and I wish yourself and all your listeners a happy Christmas. And I'd like to leave you with a nice sentiment. It was made famous in a song many years ago by a man named Jimmy Durante. And I would say this Christmas, by sending a Christmas card, as Jimmy Durante says, make someone happy and you'll be happy too. How about that?
And that is so wonderfully said, because happiness is something which you can spread.
Yeah, we're here for a good time, not for a long time, so we should be as happy as much as we can, Womes. So I wish you guys, you and the station and all your listeners, all the best this Christmas.
Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you so much. See you.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Washa Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now we'll take a look at all the functions and events that are happening in and around Brisbane. Remember, a lot may still be taking place on virtually, but as we know that with easing restrictions, more and more in-person functions are now happening. So ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have time for today, and it's been wonderful having your company as usual, and we'd like to make a very special mention and a very special thanks to our sponsors for the event, the live stream for today, which has been none other than Gaura Travels, and of course we know at this point in time they have very special flights going to India, especially the one on 21st. So, if you are in for it, the one that was launched on Black Friday sales, which ends, for 5 days only, and the flight is on 21st of December. So, please do contact Gaura Travels for all updates regarding the flights. But the advice there is that you need to book in and book in now. Otherwise, you may miss out. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for being on the show, and it's being wonderful to have your company on this show. It's been, as you could have noticed today's show, that what happened is we have so much things happening locally that we'll try and bring as many local functions and events as possible on the show before we bring on the other parts of the shows, like meaning we'll have the news in brief. Of course, we have to have the news in brief and any special items there. But if we have, and if we can get hold of as much local footage as possible, we'll try and incorporate those ones in for the benefit of all our viewers. So it's been wonderful having your company. Until tomorrow, remain safe and see you tomorrow.